of light took her bow, and then she turned to go. The prince faced the gloom and walked the night alone. Dancing in the dark of night, sing to the Lord. The dark Lord rides in forest tonight, and time will tell us all. Throw down your blind pole, rest not to lock your hole. Side by side, we wait the might of the darkest of them I hear Horace's thunder down in the valley below. I'm waiting for the angels of Avalon, waiting for the eastern glow. The apples of the valley, oh, the seas of happiness. Ground is rich from tender care, repay, do not forget. No, no, dance in the dark night, listen to the morning light. Apples turn to brown and black, the tyrant's face is red. War is the common cry, pick up your swords and the sky is filled with good and bad, mortals never know. Oh well, the night is long, the beats of time pass slow. Tired eyes on the sunrise, waiting for the eastern glow. The pain of war cannot exceed the woe of aftermath. The drums will shake, the castle wall, the ring razor iron black. Ride on, raise your right on, shoot straight to them before. No comfort has the fire at night that lights the face so cold. Dance in the dark of night, sing till the morning light. Red and gold to bring the balance back, bring it back. At last the sun is shining, the clouds are blue or white. With flames from the dragon of darkness, the sunlight blinds his
Hi, I'm Grace, and you're watching Disney Channel. That's stupid. Hi, I'm Grace with Troll Lord Games, and you must be here to learn about Castles and Crusades. Castles and Crusades is a fantasy tabletop role-playing game that uses a D20-based system. It was published in 2004 by Davis Chenault and Matt Golden, and it was designed to be rules light and adaptable, promoting an environment in which the only limit is our imagination. The core mechanic of Castles and Crusades is called the Siege Engine. In this system, if a player wishes to take an action and a chance of failure exists, the game master, or castle keeper, will call for the player to make an attribute check. The player attempting the attribute check will roll a d20 and add their character's level, as well as any bonuses or penalties that they may have to the result. The player will then tell their castle keeper the total, as well as whether their associated stat is primary or secondary for their character. If a stat is primary, the challenge base is 12. This means that in order to pass, the player's result must be greater than or equal to 12. The challenge base for a secondary stat is 18. This number can be altered by the castle keeper depending on how easy or difficult the attempted action may be. To quickly review, a challenge base is determined by whether an attribute is primary or secondary, which sets the base of 12 or 18 respectively. A challenge level is a modifier of difficulty determined by the castle keeper, usually within plus or minus 6 of the base. These two numbers combined make up the challenge class, which is the number that the player must meet or exceed in order to succeed in their action. For example, Nick is playing Grognar, a 3rd level human fighter. Fighters have strength as a primary stat, and Grognar's strength score of 15 earns him a +1 bonus to strength checks. Grognar is attempting to break down a locked door. The door is fairly thick, so the castle keeper calls for a strength check from Grognar. In this case, Nick will roll a d20 and add both Grognar's level and strength modifier. He rolled a 13 and adds 3 from his level and 1 from his strength modifier for a total of 17. The challenge base was 12, since strength is a primary stat for Grognar. The castle keeper also determined that since the door is particularly sturdy, an additional challenge level of 4 will be added to the base for a total challenge class of 16. Because Nick had a total result of 17, exceeding the determined challenge class of 16, Grognar successfully breaks down the thick wooden door. Unfortunately, Grognar doesn't have intelligence as a primary stat. Were he to have thought a little bit more about it, he would have realized that maybe the door was locked for good reason. As Grognar bursts into the room, he is met with the fearsome gaze of a dragon, who immediately unleashes his fiery breath on the reckless intruder. Grognar must now make a dexterity check to avoid being barbecued. Since dexterity is a secondary stat for Grognar, it'll be much more difficult, with a challenge base of 18. And because this is an ancient dragon, the challenge level is 34 as determined by the creature's entry in Monsters and Treasure, for a total challenge class of 52. Grognar is instantly incinerated. His dust is swept up, mailed home, and Nick must now roll up a new character. A life lesson to take to heart. In Castles and Crusades, life is cheap. While many systems allow you to embody the veritable fantasy superhero and save the day with lots of proficiencies and world-altering magic and outrageous feats of strength, Castles and Crusades scales the experience back a little bit. Your adventurer will truly start out at the bottom when they set out on their journey, and you'll have to play smart to ensure that they live to see the end. So, sorry, power gamers, but there's no way to break CNC. But fret not. While this system is built to avoid the rampant power creep that we see in other games, you'll be rewarded for teamwork and creativity every step of the way. From all of us here at Trollord Games, may your castles be sturdy, your dice favorable, and always remember Rule 16. An ancient indecipherable tome in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Thanks for watching. Hi, I'm Grace, and you're watching Disney Channel. That's stupid. Hi, I'm Grace with Trollord Games, and you
is ageless. The dungeon imagined without end. The curious are the ones most courageous. The tree that endures has to bend. From stillness the mad mage is stirring. From countless voices the castle takes shape. Zagig will test the enduring. Those unlucky will never escape. A story once spoken is ageless.
Trollord Games, join the fray. Trollord Games, join the fray. Trollord Games, join the fray. Trollord Games, join the fray.
Oh, trolled. Trolled. Oh, good morning. What's going on, everybody? I'm in a devilish mood this morning. Oh, let me start the raffle, Savage. I forgot about that. My granddaughter's over this morning, and she usually does her own thing till I get the stream going, but today has been a bit different for her. She has been in here a lot, so I had to usher her out a while ago. I was like, honey, I gotta do my thing, you know. Hold on, let me get over here. Fine. Delete that. And bam. There we go. We got a raffle going. If you want to join in, come over here to Trollord Games. Or no, to twitch.tv/Trollord Games. To enter in, give us a follow, exclamation point raffle. And we will help you get into the raffle and see what you can win here. We're giving away some $10 codes this morning as normal. I will say this much for those folks that are in other platforms. Here's the link if you do want to come join us. We're going to give away a couple of those this morning just for some PDFs. Good morning. What's going on, guys? Doug's in the house. Alan's in the house. McLute's in the house. Pete's in the house. Heather's in the house. Barky's in the house. Let's see, who else is Becker creeping around? There's Oak and Dragon Press. What's going on, man? There's DM Chris. Golly, a bunch of people in here. And of course, all those that are not speaking, but just lurking is cool too. I know we're all working, right? I'm sore looking at some game prep for tonight. So why is your game prep yeah, I'm all on this. Well, the granddaughter's in there with the wife, but yeah, I'm all on this. Usually I am. Lurking crew. Why are you sore? Excuse me. I'm yawning. Holy cow. I got plenty of sleep in last night, though. I slept about 6 hours, so it's pretty good. Let's see here. So that question that you asked earlier, McGlute, Heather answered it exactly. The key to good role play is just trying to embrace the moment. You know what I mean? It's also subjective too. What I would consider really good role play may be different from you or someone else, right? But at the end of the day, that's really the key to good role play is just not holding yourself back because you're afraid of what other people will think. It's like anything in life, you know. Usually when you embrace something fully, you know how I usually go in 100%, you know, you'll succeed, you know. But again, it's so subjective. You know what I mean? Some people want to be super detailed. Others don't want to be. They want to be more of an overflowing kind of thing, you know. You know, they're going to talk about the village they live in and their character growing up there and that kind of thing. And they may not go into super detail. Then you might have the person who role plays out the character's complete career, or maybe even growing up and have fine details. So a lot of that plays into it too. A lot of it's got to do with how well you can improv too. Some people are better at writing things down and just reading off that versus just coming up with stuff out of your head. You know what I mean? And then not writing it down and later on paying for it when someone says, "Hey, wait a minute, didn't you say?" And then you're like, "Oh, well, I abuse myself." I guess you do if you're doing kind of prep like that. My goodness. Question: what is the best timed Nat 20 you remember? Man, I don't know. That I can remember. God, you're talking about almost 50 years, man. um, well, I'll tell you what. I'll put it like this. I'm trying to think back. So I have a couple guys that play at my table here at the house that I can always, count on them. I'm not. I always. It just seems like I always know when they're going to roll a Nat 20. It seems like they don't roll in that often. So when they do, I just sort of get a feeling for it. But as far as for myself, the only thing I can recall that probably would be the and this is a bad thing. Okay, all right, this is a bad story. I don't want you guys to criticize me. Okay, so this has been about 3-4 years ago. No, it was longer than that because it was before I was working for the company. Back when I was running my 5E stuff a lot too, and I was running a Saturday campaign that went on for about 4 years, Saturday mornings, and they were going through Against the Hill Giants, but I was doing the 5E version from WotC, through doing that on Fantasy Grounds, I think. But anyway, or whatever it was. But so I'll tell you what the deal was. It has a good ending for you guys out there that are GMs. You're going to appreciate this. So the party was down in the Frost Giants, the Frost Giants, right down in those caves, and they were fighting some Frost Giants. They had come in and they tried to bully their way in to see the king, the Jarl, right, of the Frost Giants. And instead, they had to end up meeting troops, and they got into a fight. I don't remember how it got started, but they ended up fighting them, and it got pretty bad. In fact, Bake, Scott, that's our IT guy, who comes on streams every once in a while and hangs out in channel Backsauce. He was playing this game. He was a cleric. And we had a guy who was playing a Tabaxi monk, and he so they were fighting, and they realized they needed to run and leave the caves, right? So that's what they did. They said, "Let's get the hell out of here." Well, he wanted to try and stay and fight. He was like, no, we can do this. We can do this. We just got to take this guy down. So he was still going at it, right? And they were trying to back off. They're like, "Come on, let's retreat," or whatever. And the Frost Giant that I was fighting with was fighting him. He decided, this is crazy what happened here. He decided he wanted to try to stay. So he's swinging and fighting this thing, and this thing brings up its maw, and it comes down. I knock him a couple times, and he goes down. Right, he goes down. I have a little bit of hair left. Not bad. But anyway, so he goes down, and the cleric yells, and it seems like he had some way to heal. Oh, he touched him as they were running off and got him up. In 5e, heal spells can be pretty powerful. So he hopped up, and they ran off, but he decided to stay again. He wants to do a called shot. He's going to try to do a called shot and punch this Frost Giant. But he rolls a nat 1. And I roll on the chart for critical misses, and he punches himself in the face instead. I forget how it worked. He swung or something. He ended up hurting himself. I don't forget how it was. But anyway, so he goes down again. And they flip out about it. And so one of the characters was playing a halfling rogue or something that was really fast. So he runs back over and wants to try to tumble between this giant's legs to try to give this guy a healing potion. And I said, yeah, fine. I'll let you do that. And I was easy. I'm not hard or anything about it. So he rolls over. He rolls really good. He rolled like a 19 or something, or maybe a nat 20. I don't remember. It was really high. But he went in there, had no problem. He got out. And so they get that guy up, and that guy's laying there. And I said, okay, the giant thinks you're down and you're dead. Okay? But you wake, and you've got, through your eyelids, you can see him looking around as the party's running off. He starts to step that way, and he stops back. And he seems like he's looking to see if there's more of your friends around, right? Well, then I asked him, "So are you going to try to roll away and run off as fast as you can. He's a monk. He can go pretty fast, right? No, he wanted to fight the frost giant. So he gets up and starts fighting it again. Because in his mind, he's going to take this thing down and save the party. The frost giant had 2 attacks, and I hit double nat 20s on him. And so he died, right? And that was the end of that. Now, this is the cool part of the adventure. Yeah, he was kind of like that. He was always like, even when they were going around in towns and stuff, he'd be, but he wasn't, not Italian Stain. I think he was thinking more like Kane or Kung Fu. But anyway, they finally came back. He had a new character. This has probably been several sessions later, 2 or 3 sessions later. They came back and they managed to get an audience with the Jarl, right? And so when they went in and saw the Jarl, they were standing before him and he was up on his throne. Up behind him on the wall was a stuffed Tabaxi. They'd killed him and stuffed him and mounted him on the wall. That was awesome because their character was like, what? It was great. Anyways, giants will hunt, right? Let me catch up with this stuff here going on here. I know people's chatting. Let's see. You'll go back here. Down. I'm in the middle of creating a new maps for Shadow Halfling Hall to run this evening. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Let's go and get silly. LG has no elf druid pregen, so I had to roll one up. There may not be one in there. That was it was a group, but we just picked different ones. We couldn't do them all, right? Question: are there any published CNC resources dedicated to solo play, modular? No. We actually had some stuff in the works with Jim Ward. He was writing stuff for us for that, and then of course he passed. I'm not sure if he ever turned it in or not. I need to ask Steve about that. It'd be neat. I'll have to see. Oaken Dragon says, I keep paper and pen in my pocket all the time to write. Yeah, that's smart. Fabi, what's that then? Is Fabi a new compliance standard? Sorry if it's you guys are hilarious. Hey, what's up, Bean? You're back from vacay. Where did you go? I was very busy with Virgil Greyhawk Con in a hurricane, so I did not realize you were gone. I didn't know you hadn't been around, but stop hitting yourself. The torment. Yeah. That's true. He's up, he's down. Fell out. Oh my God. Never fight the frost giant unless you're a CNC monk. That's true. Yeah, he laid him out hard. I rolled 2 nat 20s on him. And that doesn't normally happen. Now, I've had nights where I'll roll 3 in a row and that kind of stuff. But never in this, well, maybe, I know the guys here sometimes I'll get on a roll with them, but they get on rolls too. It's what is it? Quid pro quid or whatever. Pro quid quid. I can't remember the saying. You know what I mean? It's the same. Triplicate copies. Oh, you went to Knoxville? Well, you should have told me. I would have come down and seen you. Damn it. We're close. We could have made a ride. It'd have been awesome. So last week next time you come up here, I know you're trying to get this way anyway, so we'll see. Maybe eventually we'll get to meet in person. That would be cool. So last week I had a cool moment. The meat shield fighter of the party had picked up a cloak of displacement. Remember auto miss on the first attack? And I said, yeah. How about I hit on the nat 20? As I'm holding a D20 in front of him, he said, sure. I dropped that 20 and bam, nat 20. The orc came down on him with a 2-handed fire sword. It was awesome. That is awesome. And you all have these expedited clumps and oh Lord have mercy, McLuke. I have some quid for you. You guys are just terrible, I tell you. All right, yeah, go to your meeting, Narg. So let's hear some more good stories. I want to hear what you guys are doing this week. What's going on in your campaigns? Pop them in here. I want to hear a cool event from one of your games in the last week. If you ran one. If you didn't, that's fine. You can give you something else. Or you can we'll see what people say. I want to hear about them. Your disapproval means a lot to me. Dude, you're funny. You're hilarious. I'm struggling this morning, I'm telling you. I know I said I slept a lot, but I kept waking up. I haven't had any coffee. Unlike some people like Heather and other folk who like to drink their coffee in the morning, I have to do with delicious water, ice cold water to get me awake. And that sucks. The Master of Dungeons. I run too many games. Dude, I totally get it, man. I totally get it. Whenever I first became disabled, before I worked for the Trolls, I was running 8 games a week, streaming most of them. Because I was just trying to make extra money. I had nothing to do, right? Holy shit, that blends stuff together. It got bad. Especially when you get that one game that's like bi-weekly or monthly. That really puts the screws to you. The fight was insane. The party had 20 plus hirelings that they used to assault. Oh, you know what? Let me check something. There we go. Now I'm fixing. Let's see. The fight was insane. The party had 20 plus hirelings they used to assault the moat house. The rogue turned a tribe of goblins with gold and cheese, and then proceeded to reward the goblins with cheese every time they achieved it. That's hilarious. That reminds me of those guys, Orc Skull, that raids into us sometimes. That they come for our cheese. You know what I'm talking about? You know. Sure, I am in the center of the screen. They used to assault the moat house. The rogue turned a tribe of goblins with gold and cheese, and then proceeded to reward the goblins with cheese every time they achieved it. This thing doesn't give you a choice on audio volume. I have to go to turn it down after the fact. There we go. All right, let's see. Let me catch back up here. I run. Let's see. That is exactly it. Our stream of last night is a bomb. Yeah, dude, it's insane. You know what I mean? I am the only DMGMCC. I see. But it was a large battle. 20 hirelings plus 5. Wow, that's a lot. They beat us down, all the orcs, and they came to a troll. Orc Shem was staying alone, getting ready to fireball him. So Thursday will hinge on initiative. So you hear this, guys. Sparky, how long was your session, Sparky? Out of curiosity. And when the session started, did they go right into battle, or did they were they still like exploring the moat house? Just curious. All right, there you go again with this TLG branded nip plates. You crazy, dude. You are a nut. There we go. I'm gonna do something here, real guys. Hold on just a second. McGlue, I'm borrowing your all right. Let's see. Let me go back and look here now. Sorry, I passed on your comments, King, to our company chat. Anyone been playing so long that you mess up and it's a save versus pause instead of con save and playing 5e rules? Oh, let's see. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, sometimes I completely forget about that. I'll just use like a term, like save this. I'll revert back to like AD&D and stuff. That does happen for sure. I see what you're saying now. Is all the reward I need, Chuck? Well, it's in there. They're looking at it. Oh my word. Let's see. It was a 3-hour session. The first hour was getting their affairs in order before returning to the moat house from Hamlet. So the battle was but it does. That's what I was going to ask you. So if you had a battle, this is the beauty of CNC. In 2 hours, you ran a battle that had 20 plus hirelings plus a party and enemies. That's pretty impressive. That's good. Right. 2 battles with the human and mercenaries. Then you got the goblins in the courtyard fighting the hirelings. I got you. Makes it a little bit easier to do it, but that's good though, man. That's good. Anybody who sits down and tries to go through that one at a time. I mean, can you imagine? You know, it's very important when you're running games like that to have units and stuff for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so my guys, Saturday night, I'll catch you up to speed on them. We played. They came over and we're going through. Now they don't know what they're going through. Okay. In my screwed up brain, this campaign these guys are in, they're high level. They're about 13th, 14th level, and they're just treasure hunting. They're adventurers. And they all met each other in a dungeon accidentally over time. So everybody who's brought in a new character in this game has met them in a dungeon or an adventure somewhere. They didn't come in together. They didn't start together. It's just because characters die, people quit. They want this campaign. I don't have a big deal. I told them, said, listen, you get tired of a character, you want to make a new one, just make it instantly. And they've done that a few times, right? So anyway, they travel through this whole long alpine valley, if you would, filled with vampire Batmen that live there. In fact, they have a couple villages that look like old Transylvanian kind of villages, but they're all infected, right? And they had to go down through there, and the Bigby, Rigby, Nigby effect. Yeah, sort of, Ray. And they basically go down through there, and they cover this whole valley. The valley's about a 3 or 4 day travel, right? And so they've been through this valley, and they got harangued by these things. Even at the middle of the night, they had to have someone on watch with a big fire going to fight them off. It was pretty terrifying. It was almost an extended chase the whole time. They did stop and rest. That's why they had to build these big bonfires and fight them off. But it wasn't at all like they liked. And they were trapped in this valley. There was only one way out because it was during the winter, and there was a bunch of snowfall, and all the passes had been covered. They had to go into this old caverns. There was a cave system you could kind of wind your way through, right? And you get out the other end. Well, what they don't know, and I haven't told them, I probably won't tell them, is they're going through the Lost Caverns of Socanth, right? You know, the old Indian adventure. They're going through it. And I tell you, they have a good time this week. They had just got through killing a giant snapping turtle. They're at this big underground lake. And so one of their party members had ran off. He had a ring of water walking, and the turtle had chased him, and he ran off into the depths of the caves. So they went looking for him. They got across to the other side, parked their boat, and got out and started wandering through the caves. You know, and that adventure it's a cave system, but it's a dungeon. It's got like they don't even have random encounters in it, right? The ideal is that areas have stuff in it, and then if you're in another area doing something, sound carries, echoes. They can hear through the caves. They may come and see what's going on, that kind of thing, right? That hasn't happened to them yet, all right? So far, they've dealt with a manner of things, but the biggest problem is there's these piercers in this cavern over the lake, and they tend to drop on the boat. So they've had to try to, I roll for chances and see if the piercers hit them. And they've gotten pretty aggravated with it, but they've only used the boat a little bit. So they parked the boat and they went up into this cavern. And first thing they came across was a stone bridge, a natural stone bridge going over the lake. There was like a tributary it came through. And they were trying to track this guy, and they couldn't find him. So they used, I think one of them has a scrying ability. Oh, I know what it is. One of them's got a magic item that allows them to scry. So they scried and found him. They went and found him. He was in this little side room, and he was just rocking back and forth crazy. Now, what they don't know is he had ran into a phantasm the previous session, and it had basically left him, his sanity was broken for just, it was just a temporary effect. But for right now, his sanity's broken. So he was just rocking back and forth, and he wouldn't reply really much to him. He kind of acknowledged them finally, but he just told them right up to their faces he didn't believe they existed. That was all fake. So they were like, fine, whatever, you got to go with us, this kind of thing. So they start exploring back where they found him at. They heard the noise, so they started looking around back in these caves, and they came across. First off, they came across was a couple cockatrices that were nesting back in one section, and they fought them. Nobody turned to stone. They were cousins to. They've realized now this is the second time they've run into them down here, so they know that there may be some more. Originally, the person who built this dungeon, Ilgwiv, I kind of played around with it and said that, he had several cockatrices that he placed throughout the caverns just to live there. And they make natural guards, right? Not a big deal. It's safe for them. It's a very powerful creature, but they're pretty content with eating and that kind of thing. So, when they were at time to eat, he would just send a minion to them, and they would eat the minion. So it worked out really well. So anyway, they went through that, dealt with all that, and then they had come across another room that had it was really strange. It was a cave, but in the center of the room was a carpet and a desk, chair. There was a cabinet. It was almost like someone's office had been teleported to the middle of this room. And they went looking through the furniture and stuff. It was in pretty bad shape, but he'd been there a long time. And so it was just a really odd thing. They keep seeing signs of like, it's either the caves are either just straight up caves with no sign of any kind of occupants, and then they'll see things like this, right? So they don't know whether or not if this is an illusion or what's going on. But it's not that dead. It's previous stuff that he had here over years back. He's dead. He's long gone. So whatever is here, unexplained, whatever. So they finally get on the boat. They go out and they start going down. They went down another tributary to explore it, and they come into this big room that's filled with water, right? And that's it. And they're just looking around and say, well, let's get the hell out of here. And so one of them says, no, I want to get in and swim. I'm like, that's not a real good idea. So he dived down, It turns out, once they had some light near the water, they could see down in there, and he sees something, lights lit up when he gets down farther. Way down at the bottom of it, probably about 30 feet down, I put a giant pearl, or about a giant clam that was open. Laying in this clam was a fellow that had bluish skin. He was asleep. He turned out to be a married, right, a water genie. And they made a deal with him. He sent them across. He wants them to go kill these Deo, which are earth deities, right? Enemies. He don't like them, thinks they're evil, and he's asked them to get rid of them. If they would do that for him, then he will show them a way to get down to the next level. He knows the way down. So that's the progress. They went trapping back across the lake, fighting off piercers. They got off the boat. They started wandering down the corridor. They ran into a swarm of vampire bats, not batmen, just bats, right? There was this bats. One of them was a vampire bat. The rest were just regular bats. They killed it, killed all the bats, ran them off. And let's see, I'm leaving off something they did. But anyway, it was a very role play heavy session. But what's interesting about it is the area that they're going to now to kill these Deo, however you want to pronounce them. There is a Gorgomira just around the corner. And so if they go to the Gorgomira, the Earth Djinn are going to hear him. If they go to the Earth Djinn, then the Gorgomira is probably going to hear the fight. So the next session we play is going to be really bad. We're going to end up fighting probably both of them at the same time. And therein lies the danger of how the caves are set up, right? All right, let me get back and catch chat up here. Let's get back from Holiday 2. I came back with a t-shirt and a case of COVID. Oh, that sucks, Willie. I've got a friend in Canada right now that's got COVID, believe it or not. So, yeah. Question, I'm on my planning period, Chuck. Teaching is a tough job. Any words of wisdom or inspiration? Yes. Teaching is a tough job. I miss it. So one of the things I do is every day, I'd go online, go to Facebook, Twitter, wherever. Find you a hilarious joke, something you really think is hilarious. And then either write that joke down or have it on your phone. And then every once in a while, just kind of revisit it. It'll keep you in a good mood the rest of the day. And it'll give you a little bit of a distraction too when you need it, when you're trying to find your way or whatever. As far as planning goes, I tried everything over the years, write stuff down. God, I used to get planners every year. I used to get these best planners and fill them out and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's almost like GMing, honestly. Sundance. You do what makes you the most comfortable. Don't put yourself in a position to where you're not comfortable with what you're teaching and what you're doing. Because if you're not comfortable, the kids are going to pick up on it, and they're not going to be comfortable with it. You have to exude confidence, I guess is the best way to put it, or whatever. The point being is that when you're teaching school, you got to act like it's the easiest thing in the world. It's not. We know it's not. Between the school and the parents, and then dealing with the kids and stuff and everything, it's tough. But you just got to act like it ain't nothing but a breeze, and you'll find that things will work a lot easier for you. Anyway, there's some words of inspiration for you. I hope that helps. I don't know. But good on you for teaching. I loved it when I taught. Waiting for this damn storm to get here. Yeah, I know, Matthew. Where are you at, man? I was just checking it out a while ago. It's right powerful. Florida's really getting it good. It's really getting it good now. And that's happened before. The last time that happened, I was down in North Carolina, and I don't remember the name of the hurricane, but it came across Florida. You probably remember that. And then it hung a hard left and went up the coast of Florida and Georgia. Well, actually, I think it came out in the ocean. Then it came back in, and it landed just south of us. I think it was right on the North Carolina-South Carolina border. It came in on us. And I was actually at a condo when that happened. We were on vacation. I'll never forget that. That was insane. What prompted you to leave teaching? I became disabled in my legs. Yeah. I have an ongoing case of cellulitis in both my legs. It's under control right now. Everything's good, but I by no means can stand and teach for 8 hours a day now. There's no way. I have to take breaks during the day here and prop my legs up and do all kinds of nonsense just to keep them good, It's something I'll live with the rest of my life too. So, but I was retired and disabled like that for probably, I don't know, a couple of years or something. And then I, just got drug into the trolls and So this kind of job works for me good. I can go do what I need to. It's remote, very flexible, so it's good. Let's see. My girlfriend's daughter in Orlando is currently with family and friends. Yeah, I know, man. You can forget about Mickey World now. It might have been Ivan. I don't remember, man, to be honest with you. Florida between Gainesville and Jacksonville. Right on. So you're on that side. Yeah. Question, your neck of the woods, Chuck. Did Helene overflow the dam on North Carolina-Tennessee border, or did it actually break when? There was a dam that broke around here. It's been terrible here. I can't even begin to explain to you. Virginia, you don't even hear nothing about Virginia, but there is a town 20 minutes from me that was under 30 foot of water. The whole town was. I mean, I've got a family living with. There's a family that came and stayed with us, and then they left, and because the father is a good friend of mine, he works over this way. It takes him normally but they live beyond all that. They live over in Tennessee, across the mountains, so it takes him about an hour to get to work normally. But the road that he usually takes is gone. Right, that road's gone. They're going to have to rebuild it. So now it takes him almost 2 hours to get to work from there. So he's been coming and staying here. In fact, he come back here this week. He's going to spend the night every night. I'm letting him stay here. Last week his family was over because they didn't have any power or anything. But now it's just him. But it's insane. I mean, I've lived here my whole life. I've moved out. Like I lived in Seattle for a while, and I've lived in Nashville and stuff. But I've been around this area my whole life, and you think about those floods and stuff, and it's terrible. But man, when it really comes home, it really comes home. I have never seen this kind of destruction ever where I've lived around here ever. It's just insane. I hate it for everybody. I do. It was to show you Mother Nature don't play around. And that's why Primal Druid's probably one of the best classes to play. Because man, the forces of nature are just crazy. That's how it works. You get dragged by the trolls to say, well, yes, that's what happens. We only get to see the top half of Chuck because there are shackles in his end. That's very true. Too bad I ain't got no shackle noises, right? Helene wasn't bad for us. It was a mild wind maker. I lost. Okay, really? Water Oak, it was so fast here, it's gone quick. Yeah, here it wasn't. It was wild because it kept getting worse. The wind and the rain did. And I remember last Friday, the power went out about middle of the day. And it didn't come back on until the next day for just a little while. And we thought everything was fine. I got a buddy who lives 15 minutes away from me down in the same town. Their power was out for 2.5 days, almost 3 days straight. But then Monday, on the Virginia side of Bristol, it's a 2-state town, the whole power grid went down for like 8 hours. So it was just it was weird. It was a weird time. But anyway, we made it through. Everything's good. Now we got this new hurricane coming. We'll see how that goes. I don't think it'll affect us. We may get some rain off of it, but it looks like it's going to go out. I was looking at the projections. It looks like it's going to go out and go straight out, into the ocean. And I'm hoping that's what happens, and it doesn't go up or down the coast, because that's just rough on everybody. It causes all kinds of problems. It messes with the economy. Nobody wants it, right? I remember when I used to teach school, guys, you'll like this story. I remember when we teach school, one of the things I would try to impress on the kids was take yourself, we'll just use the U.S. for an example. Put yourself back here, I don't know, 500 AD, or whatever. There is no communications. There is nothing. It's just you and your tribe of indigenous peoples, and a hurricane comes, through. Can you just imagine? Just to understand the awe that they must have beheld, knowing it was the act of the gods. Obviously, you know what I mean. You just see, when you see stuff like it, you start putting it into perspective. You can understand really how environment and weather affects people's cultures in many, many different ways. You know what I mean? I mean, nowadays we've got luxury. We know that Milton's coming last week, right? We didn't have to just watch the skies turn dark and turn black and then run for your life. And heaven forbid you're on a barrier island where you can't go nowhere because you've got canoes. It's insane if you think about it. In fact, it's terrifying. And I used to talk to kids about it. We would talk about school. Just think about, you got to put yourself in their place so they could understand, they could really grasp the difference in how technology affects things. I remember one time I brought a phone into them, a rotary dial phone, and told them to explain to me how it worked. And they didn't have the younger kids had no clue. Like middle school kids had no idea. They were over beating it on the thing. They were trying to push buttons, and it was pretty funny. Anyway, stuff like that. I like to put that into a way to where they can grasp the understanding of what I'm talking about as far as like, how important things are and how our lifestyles change and adapt to that too, right? Let's see. I may have missed it, but what subjects did you teach, Chuck? So my degree for that degree was for history. I had a history degree, and then I had a minor in education, and that was social studies. So I kind of did a little bit of everything. I taught mainly history for a little while, and then I switched and went to at-risk kids, and I taught social studies. I taught grades 5th through 12th. I taught, and they were in mixed groups because we were in a private home. They lived there. I did that for 10 years, and that was good stuff. Very interesting. And trying to teach different levels like that was pretty insane, man. You had to do some crazy lesson planning, but it was fun. It was all right. I enjoyed the kids, watching them learn. It was important to me because most of the kids we had were all at risk, and they were suffering from all kinds of things. It was terrible. It was really a travesty. But I felt like I was giving back, and I was helping these kids learn too. The great thing about it, guys, was that since I worked for private, I didn't have a public school. Public school, I usually have $200, $300, $400 budget for my classroom each year to buy supplies. I had whatever I wanted, up to like $5,000. So I had really nice technology. They allowed me to teach outside the box. Like when we were doing World War II, World War I, we would play Risk. I'd set up Risk video game on the board. We would all play in teams and stuff, and I would set up different scenarios versus like battles when we were doing World War II, for sure. And then for the middle schoolers, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. So I designed a little mini character sheet of CNC character sheet, and we ran Oregon Trail using CNC, and I would have like interactive stuff on the board, and stuff. They really got into it, I didn't want to go up there and drone on. Those kids were at-risk kids. They didn't want to hear me up there, blah, 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 So anyway, I miss it. It was a lot of fun. I felt like I hope I made a difference. I watched some of those kids grow up and become wonderful, wonderful parents and wonderful contributors to society. It's been good. History degrees for the win. That's right. My plan was to actually go to work for the state and work at a site where I could do tours and stuff. I thought that would be cool to do. They paid pretty well too, but I didn't end up doing that. I don't remember how I got into teaching. It just kind of happened somewhere. I think towards the end of college, one of my teachers kind of, saw a place that was open and helped me gave me a reference, right? And so I'd been waiting to get on one of these government jobs, to work for the Park Service, and it was really hard to get on. And I understand why too. I'm pretty much sick of them. We've had 3 storms. I know, man, and there's always storms, but there's a Leslie one out there right now, but she's going to go back towards Africa like that last one did. It's going to cut east. But I hear you. It's terrible. The Caribbean Sea down there, man, is just, that whole area down there is just insane for storms. Who pissed off the gods in the village? Exactly, Masters of Dungeon. Exactly, man. That's the thing about it, it's interesting. I had the page to teach. I really do run the scout troop. Yeah, I've seen your pictures. That's cool. But that's enough for me. Hey, and I forget, Pete, if you ever want to try to do anything to get, I don't know, I've got a buddy that, Daniel, he does scouts, and they have a merit badge for gaming, I think now, and I sent him some little rewards for that or something. I don't remember. If you ever need something like that, just reach out to me. All right. Let's see. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Respect back to you. One of my teachers in high school had a giant banner that ran along the top of one wall that declared life is hard and it ain't fair. That is my inspiration, which is why I never get hired or never get let go in the first week. Wolf alone. Hey, my granddaddy told me one time, I was in high school, this is before he passed, he said, I'm going to tell you something. He said, everybody's got their own bowl of shit they got to eat in life. The key to that is not asking for seconds, nor eating someone else's shit. You just take care of your own. And that was a pretty good motto. And it stuck with me. You got to realize that adulthood it's a survival game. Right. My second year, I switched to history major and then changed again next year. Yeah, I hear it. What'd you change to? I'm just curious. I'm curious about it. Morning. How's it going, Neil? Jeffrey Willis. Is the Magic Adventure still alive? Well, Jeffrey, the reforged edition of it is I'm actually we've actually going to start shipping. I think Steve said we're going to try and start shipping that as soon as we get back from Gamehole Con. We got Gamehole Con next weekend, so that'll be out. And so my hope is we'll have enough of it out to where we can get it in the stores. Let's see, maybe 2 weeks if we can get enough of it shipped. Because we need to ship, we have to have at least 50% shipped, out, and then we can put it on the store for sale. But yeah, it's coming back in a big way, and the books are beautiful too. I can't wait to get my copies. I haven't gotten any yet. The only people that's gotten copies so far has been Heather. Let's see, because she's writing some stuff for Amazing Adventures for us. Let's see. My wife just started teaching a couple years ago. She's been in IT, got laid off, and she decided she would make a complete change. Very good. So now she's 7th grade school science teacher. My hat is off to all teachers. Thank you. Yeah, that's absolutely right. Absolutely. That's why we have the whole thing we give away to the schools, like for books and stuff, because we want to support education. I think gaming is a good way of doing it. I had a blast using CNC in the classroom. I had a blast doing it. It's good wisdom. Yep, good advice. My wife told me, my mom told me one time. She said it's like bowling. She said life is. If you'll get your spares, the strikes will come. I had no clue what she was talking about at the time. I was probably like 14, because we used to bowl a lot when I was young. But I finally figured it out when I grew up. Don't sweat the big stuff. Slow and steady wins the race, right? And it's purdy. Took a few extra years, but got a degree in anthro with a minor in, oh, nice. Ancient studies and a degree in philosophy with a minor in classic cultures, making my only skill in life. Yeah, I know, dude. I've got a really good friend that lives in Atlanta, and he's got 2 degrees. One is in philosophy and one is in religion. And he does not work in a field that uses either one of those degrees. Exactly. They're good. They're great, but tough to get a job with that unless you actually, want to teach it, right? Devil's. Yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. But anyway, yeah, lots of good stuff there. So where were we? Well, let's hear about some of your other stories. I've got a few more minutes left here. I want to hear some more stories about your table. I want to hear some table stories. I want to hear what's going on with you guys. My other group that plays here at the house, they're finishing up I can't remember which A they're in now. It was 8 or 9. I don't remember. We skipped one, I think, because they got ahead of it. But they are actually working through the sewers of Offstrag right now, believe it or not. Yeah, which is going to be interesting because I have them planned when they come back out of the sewers. They went down in there to find a part of the Horn of Opening. I put a part down there. And then when they come back out, they're actually going to have to fight an actual, they're going to be involved in a battle with troops from Unclar troops, from Offstrag, who are fighting somebody else, and they're going to get dragged into it. That'll be interesting to see because we've not done, that group hasn't done an actual battle encounter in many, many years. And that's basically where I set things up and they just get drawn into it, right? It's just a fast thing we do for fun, sort of an immersion thing. I don't try to get down to the brass tacks with it and track everything. It's more of a happening. And the battle just kind of pulls them in. They get pulled into it. They're making some attacks. Everything's going kind of crazy. And the next thing you know, they're either find themselves alone and the battle has moved on over the hill there or something like that, or they are in complete retreat and they flee with the army, or they win and they're just kind of standing around. I do different ones, but I always leave it off to where they're kind of like in a situation that when it's over with, they kind of move on. They're not going to, hang out and talk to anybody, or I don't create any more dialogue. It's sort of an event that happens, right? And I kind of like to do them kind of things because that way it happens, but then it doesn't bog down the gameplay or anything. They move on. It's just an event. Just like they heard about it from somewhere else, but this time they kind of encountered it, right? The edges of it or whatever. The experience. Matthew Blackwell says, my degree is in ecology, but I work as a mixing and mastering engineer. Oh, interesting. Huh. See? Yeah. But I majored in rugby. Oh, really? That's cool. That's a tough-ass sport, man. Right on. Tonight is a return to Warren of Madagot. First session last week, the rogue shot into me, leaning down their illusions who was fighting giant rats. How is that adventure? I've not ran it. I need to run it, Sparky. I put it on the store, but I haven't ran it. I'm curious about it. I need to try to run that adventure. I might run that for a con or something, or maybe run it on the channel here, I'm in the Savage Sword of Conan inspired game. It said Hyperborea. Nice. We got the Cthulhu elements. Oh, sweet. That's killer. Question: Do you or have you done Halloween adventures since it's time of the year? I just try to roll and shot every year. Oh yeah, I do. I do the Halloween adventures. Sure. I mean, we've got one on the store I put up yesterday, the Hangman. It'll go out in the newsletter today. We put up the Hangman yesterday. That's one Davis wrote. I've read it a few times. It's got a lot of crazy stuff in it. So you pick what you want out of it, right? And then the other one we put up was what was the other thing I put up yesterday? I put up Steve's GM Tricks of the Trade. And then there was another adventure. Damn if I can remember what it is now. I'm going to have to go look now. I don't remember, but the easiest way for me to remember is just go look at my downloads folder because it's right in here. Oh, Fantastic Adventure. Yeah. So, but Halloween Adventures, yeah, I run them. Maybe I should run a one shot. Let me ask you a question, guys. I've talked to you guys about this before. I think we could do it. Just do me a favor. Put a Z in the channel if you think you would be interested and would join an online game. You'd have to have a camera and a mic to play. But if I did like a community game every once in a while like that, and we just pull people, like say from the Discord or whatever, right? Have we got enough people that would be interested in playing? Oh wow, lots of people. Yeah, great. Okay, well that's good. That's kind of what I was wondering about. I've been talking to Heather about it a little bit. We're getting ready to change up the programming on the channel. I'm going to try to get her to run some AA, and then I want to do a community game, of course. Oh, the timings are always awful. I totally get it, man. I totally get it. The time zones are the bane of all evil, or no, they are all evil. They're the epitome of all evil, right? I would love to join a game. I have Foundry. Right? Well, I would probably not even have to worry about because I don't. When I do my games online, I don't fool with VTT or nothing, man. I make it really easy. Microphone, camera. I'll throw up a few images and we roll real dice, and then we don't have to worry about nothing else, man. We just have a good time, right? I don't try to get complicated or anything. Cause you got like 3-4 hours. By the time you get everybody in, everybody going, you got 3.5 hours, just like at your regular house, right? So very nice, very cool, Matthew, very cool. Oh, we do have a giveaway going on. I forgot about the giveaway. Yeah. And Alan, I saw your message, by the way, mate. We're gonna actually be doing a stream game with Alan's fellas over in the UK soon. The GMS distribution. We've been talking about it. We're gonna do a couple, like a mini couple session thing, and stream it for them, for those folks. It should be fun, right? It'd be a lot of fun. Halloween one shot. Halloween one shot. And Heather, I just realized that I got your message. I'm so sorry. It's late. I don't really have a way. We'll plan it though. Okay. If you're online for something like that, I can bring you on. We can talk and stuff. Let's plan on doing a stream where you get on and talk about AA anyway. That would be cool. And you can talk about Dark Pyramid. That would be awesome. I would like that a lot. That would be cool. Let's see. I think it's good module for new players, but when I ran it into an issue I didn't catch during prep. One description doesn't match the maps, and there is a secret door, and it's not clear where. Oh, okay, right on. I know, I do, and we will for sure. I got to set up the internal thing though to have you on. Right now, I've just got the straight up OBS running. I had to rule the door refused to open and needed a special tool to open. Then I sat down and reread those sections. I finally decided to put the opening somewhere. Interesting. Some good feedback. It's good. But it's just like I was talking to somebody this morning. A lot of our stuff, man, especially with Davis, you'll never you sometimes it's not going to be so cut. It's those guys write their stuff, particularly Davis and Steve. They write their stuff with the idea that you're going to make it work however, right? It's your game. You do it your way, right? But a lot of people are also very much used to just buying something and just tells you exactly what to do everywhere, right? And I'm not saying that's bad or good. I try to do that when I write stuff, but I mean, I also get it. If you're all through to mine all the time, sometimes, just things are not obvious. You know what I mean? Okay, interesting. And that might have been an afterthought of his that he forgot to include in the adventure. You know what I mean? In the back of his mind. Oh, okay. I want to read it, as I don't know anything about it, but it looks like a pretty cool adventure. You know what I mean? I'd be down for it for sure. So yeah, we'll talk about doing a planned one shot for Halloween. I'll start working on that today. I'll start thinking about it. I know several adventures I could run that would be pretty fun to do it in too. So, yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. We'll do it. Any more questions from you guys? It's getting a little after, but I do have a lot of work to do today. I've got to put 8 titles up on the store, or 7 titles for Amazing Adventures that are going to be when we open it up. In fact, I've got to put. Listen to this. This is craziness right here. Okay. Yeah. So for Amazing Adventures, right? This is everything that we have for that fulfillment. You ready? Amazing Adventures Player's Handbook, the Amazing Adventures Chronicle Keeper's Guide, the Amazing Adventures Screen, CK Screen, the Amazing Adventures Shadows of the Red God, Amazing Adventures Rise of the Red God, Amazing Adventures Rings of the Red God, Amazing Adventures Deeper Dark Trilogy, Amazing Adventures Innsmeet, Amazing Adventures Brotherhood of William St. John, Amazing Adventures Legacy of William St. John. That's insane, huh? You know? So, that's a lot of stuff. I gotta get all that up on the store and blah blah this and blah blah that. So it's insane. The first level was pretty empty of monsters, so I wrote up a random encounter table. Oh, that's cool. New player Jonas who's never played before. Oh, that's even better, Sparky. I love that. That's always great. You've got to put Crusader 27 on the store too, right? It's on the store. Gooberhead. We have it on there. So we've got 1 through, I think, I don't know, 10 or 14. And then the other half up to 27. And then 28's on there. Well, will be on there. Not on there yet. It will be on there. Yeah, it is. It's on there. Not separate. They're in bundles. They're in bundles. I may at some point go back and separate all those out, but you're talking about 27 listings I have to do on the store, Pete. So it's like, instead I give you a choice of package A, package B, or the whole lot. So, but I don't think it's very expensive. I think they're not bad. I don't even know. Now, yeah, I know. Yeah, separate means I'd have to put 27 on the store, Pete. You realize what you're asking me, Pete. I know you love me. I know you. And I love you too, Pete. But that's some serious slavery. Don't make me do it yet, Pete. Oh, that's a lot of. I mean, we'll see. You know, that's a lot of time and stuff. But we'll have to see. I'll have to think about it. Okay. It's a lot of work, man. Oh, it is. It's a lot of work. It really is. But, you know, we'll see. I probably will. I just don't want to promise you. The module's kind of light on plot, but that's what's good. I was about to integrate it into Lord of Mankind. Oh, that is good. Yeah, I like it being able to just easily put something in, right? That's what I like about a lot of the old AD&D and basic stuff too. They had a lot of good background stuff, but it was never something where you're locked in, right? You know. Oh yeah, Jeffrey, I do too. Love the AA. I'm very excited about it coming out. I need to get me some books here too, because I have. Oh yeah. Pete just wants me to put the one up there, and that's it. I should put it up. I'll call it Pete's Copy only. That would be hilarious, dude. Okay, the Presume project. Well, there's not a whole lot I can say about it. It's in the works. So I'll tell you what I do know. And we do have a channel in Discord where you can go in and ask questions and stuff. And we're going to, as we get closer to working on that, we'll be more active in there talking to people. But the ideal is it's going to run off Siege, right? Like the rest of our games. It's going to be set in the world of Barzoom and Mars. We are in direct communications with the family and the estate, and they've laid down some guidelines. For example, the art. They want the art to not be as risque as it was back in the old days. They want it a little bit more dynamic, a little more action focused. So we're going in that direction with that. But we're looking at creating a game that's going to have a full setting. It's going to be a setting, So I've already read all the books again. We're all reading all the books again, just so we can get sort of a bump up in our memories, right? And probably one of the most challenging things will be for us is getting the artwork. If we can find the right artists, right? That'll be really big, because I think art's important, especially for any game. But for this one, I really want to see some beautiful art popped out, right? And then, we're going to create a setting. We're going to have fauna, flora, areas. I'm hoping I can talk Steve into maybe even doing I'm not really sure how it's all going to work out, right? But if it ends up being not too big of a setting map, maybe we could do a couple or three little small environ, expansions like we do for Aired for Barzoom. Maybe I thought that would be kind of cool to do. We could maybe do some stretch rewards for the crowdfunding for it, because I'm sure we'll probably crowdfund it somewhere. Maybe not. I don't know. We're trying to move away from that as much as we can. You're going to start seeing more stuff coming on just directly with the store as I learn how to do it and build it in. Like we've been doing these pre-orders. Some things we'll probably be doing just pre-orders for. You'll just pre-order it, get a discount, and that'll be it. There won't be a bunch of hoopla about it, right? We're just trying to get it done. But for Barzoom, we may want to crowdfund that just because we probably need to make a lot of money in as much as we raise as many funds as we can for it, because we have to pay, back to the family and the state, and then of course getting new artists just for that type of art's going to be interesting. I'm sure it won't be cheap, but I don't know. A lot of that supposition. I'm just throwing that out there. You know what I mean? Hey, Dirty, what's going on, man? Yeah, we're exhausted with it. We're tired of it. And it's getting worse, man. I can't even go do my own Kickstarters anymore like I used to follow it. It's just too much. I get on there, I'm just like, blah. It's just everywhere. And I get it. I'm not fussing or whatever. But we would like to try to move to just doing a lot of pre-orders on smaller projects and not kickstart them no more. You know what I mean? You just get them. And that way, if we do it simple, I can set that stuff up in the store and we're done. We're off to the races. It doesn't take but a second. We don't have to go through some long fulfillment stage. Just like Amazing Adventures. It's going to be rough on our side of things because I got to track all kinds of nonsense. You know what I mean? And I was setting up the Hermit, and in the Hermit, I made some mistakes I promised I wouldn't do, and I won't ever do this again for any other Kickstarters, is I won't offer any add-ons that are PDFs. And the reason why I don't like to do that is because I've got to track those people separately. Everything's got to be tracked separately. It just makes it so much harder. And then, of course, I feel bad because I want to make sure everybody gets their stuff. And then you've got some people who may not get it and they'll never know it if they don't notice it. And that works with my brain. I want everybody to be treated fairly and everybody get what they want. And it is so complicated trying to track, print stuff, PDF stuff, VTT stuff. And then you got all the other stuff that a lot of people do, like they're going to track like merch and stuff, dice, cards, whatever. It gets to be crazy because unless you include it as a whole where everybody gets it, then that's where you run into problems. And that's the issue. If you're going to include stuff as a whole for people, that can get crazy expensive. You know what I mean? So again, I'm all about simple, man. I want simple on the store. And I think the pre-orders direction is a good way to go for us. What is the topic? Let's see. Al Disco, what's going on? It's Octo Al Disco. Oh, I like that. The indie stream while I'm working on my campaign. Nice. Very neat. We've just been shooting the shit, talking about everybody's games this morning. People's asking me some questions about what's going on with their releases and stuff. I can draw something risque for you for free. Don't waste the opportunity. Oh, dirty. Let's see. Trolls are the only Kickstarters I've done in a year. Yeah. I've stopped too. I won't lie. I'm lying to you a little bit though. I did get this in the mail. I backed this. I told my wife I wasn't going to do any more dice, Kickstarting, crowdfunding things. And I stopped for the most part about 6 years ago, but I do occasionally get them, little ones or whatever. This popped up. It's just a cool little 20-sided. Y'all might have seen it. There's lots of them out there like it, but it's got like, I don't know if you can see that or not. That says eat shit. And then the other one is a skeleton finger, right? Give you the finger. See that? Yeah. So I thought it was funny to roll at the table here with my guys here at the table. Because I'll get out in front of them and roll sometimes. They get all hepped up about it. But here's the coolest thing about this die. It's filled with confetti, right? The little pieces of confetti are little hands giving you the bird. I swear. People come up with the craziest stuff. Anyway, that was my most recent Kickstarter, I think. So, yeah, it is nice. I like big chunky die to, roll around with. I've got all kinds of nonsense though. You guys know that. I got all kinds of stuff. I got one right here that my buddy Daniel made me. Check this thing out. This is a Braille die. It's made out. He 3D printed years ago, back when 3D print was just a new thing. But he's got Braille on it. And it's got numbers too, so I can use it at the table. It's functional if I want to use it. I rolled a 7. So anyway, weird stuff. I should start showing off like have a weird dice every stream. Here's one. This right here is a resin composite that a buddy of mine made. The buddy that made the Braille one, actually. Yeah, got a bunch of these too. These are just big old chunky dice to play around with, you know. I want to run Tales from the Infinite Staircase. That would be cool, Heather. I am a dice goblin. There's no lie about that. That is for sure. I want a 20-sided die that's the size of a baseball. Of a baseball, you say? I wonder if I've got one that big. I might have. What is that about? Actually, no, they're smaller than that. I think I've got one around here somewhere. I don't know. I've got one up there. It's huge, like that big. Anyway, I don't know. I heard the 2E Planescape stuff was pretty good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the 2E Planescape stuff's good. The Codex of Planes that Steve's right now is going to be phenomenal, man. It will be phenomenal. Let's see. I'm working on a 2E con one-shot for Gamehole Con. Oh, that'll be cool. That would be cool. Just toss out Romeo and Juliet when a star falls. Yeah. It's more than 5E Planescape bundle. Don't have enough content to run the full Planescape campaign. Oh, I got you on that one, man. Yeah, 2E content's fine, man. You know it. I mean, you just have to try to just, work in the rules. And, you probably house rule a lot of stuff, so it won't be that bad for you, It's what I do, for sure. Now, I will admit, converting adventures from anything to CNC to Castle Crusades is a lot easier than, like, say, 5e. But it's always doable. Everybody does it. We all do it, right? We always borrow stuff, right? My biggest problem is when I'm writing something for us, I've got 2 adventures I'm kind of knocking around, and then my crafting book. My problem is I'll start putting stuff in there, and then I'll realize it's from an adventure that I ran that was published by somebody. Then I have to go, oh shit! I have to back up, tear it out, start over. That's happened to me a couple times. So, because you just play for so many years, man, stuff just kind of sticks in your head. I think the Master of Dungeons said that earlier about that. It just blends together. Let's see. I found cheap dice on Temu. Yeah, Temu. Yeah. The Chinese, man, when they showed up, my dice collecting ended because I could not. I used to try to collect all the different dice for different brands. There's only like 3 or 4 major brands out there, right? But now, man, it's just wide open, right? I just want to display it. Oh, okay. Right on. I'm working on a one-shot loosely based on Headless Horseman. That's cool. That is really cool. I don't even think about that half the time. That's a great horror story or I guess fairy tale. Not really fairy, but horror tale. I don't know. Yeah. I like big dice. I cannot lie. Your other brothers can't deny. Yeah, Willie, that's funny. The 2E Snare was a special request for a live stream. I'm still going to try and put together a quick A1 shot. Very cool. Very cool. I wrote one based on the movie The Shining. 2E, not the Quest 4. I got you. Yeah, Shining, that would be interesting too. I feel like that would be just an ongoing chase scene where everybody's just running for their lives the whole time. Someone screaming, "Here's Johnny!" It does sound like a lot of fun though. All right. Well, I guess I better call it here, guys, and go do some work. Steve's messaged me, and I need to get over and attend to him and tend to work and get things up on the store and moving forward. Appreciate you guys so much. I will not have my game this Saturday. I am going to a mini con, a local con here that I'm going to be running a game at, or a couple games at, and supporting the community. Anytime there's a community thing near where I live, I try to support it. It's because why not, right? Because I can. And, I've got the company to help me and stuff. And I don't know. I just like to promote gaming anywhere I'm at, especially in areas where I live, right? And I think with all the things that's been going on with all the bad weather and stuff, it would be nice people's looking forward to doing it's a little 2-day event. So I'm going to go on Saturday and hang out all day and run games. Anyways, thank you so much for you guys coming and hanging out. It was a pleasure this morning. I hope everybody has a wonderful morning. Let me see if Mike's still he's still streaming. I'm gonna raid into Mike Moans. He's doing some painting this morning. He's painting the Henry Cavill plus Cat Cam and Stream Raiders. No telling with that guy. Let's see here. The maze was timed. They had to go through. Oh, really? That's kind of cool. I like time stuff too. I was working on an enchanted forest for Foundry. There is a tiny village, about 200 people, where 3 vengeful spirits attack the village and have the ability to corrupt wildlife. Very cool, Matthew. Very cool. Yes, you too. Chuck and I are going to work out a new Saturday morning stream. That's right. That's right. Yeah, and I've got a meeting with Matt McLeod, and another company there too, Heather. So it'll be good. Yes, and I'll see you next weekend. It'll be wonderful. It'll be a Game On Con. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And thank you, Jeffrey, and everybody else for coming in and hanging out. You guys are awesome. I love my stream every week with you guys. I wished I could hang out all day with you for it, you know? Yeah, it's all working out really well. I'm going to go talk to him. Then I got this other group. I'm going to go talk to them and check them out. I'm just going to see if it's something we can utilize for organized play. I think it might. We'll see, you know? Anyways, always a pleasure to hear you, to see your text too, Pete, as well. We'll see about number 27, all right? Oh, the raffle. Shit, I forgot about the raffle. Hold on. Let me cancel the raid a minute. Shit, I forgot about the raffle. God, I told you I'm going to have a long day today. Let me get over here. I'll redo the raffle in a minute. Or the stream in a minute. All right. We're going to cancel out the raffle. Or not cancel. Close it out. Here we go. Bam. All right. So we're going to pull 2 winners real quick. First winner is going to be Savage Splendor. Look at Savage winning. Congrats, buddy. $10 off of a PDF product of your choice. Hit the link in the chat if you're not a member of our Discord and hit up Obsidian Risk and he'll get you a code. Next up, Ray Tails. Another winner. Congrats, guys. Congrats. There we go. That's awesome. Now I will switch back over and we will try that raid again real fast. Thanks for hang out with me because I want to get him a good raid. Mike's a good guy and he's a phenomenal painter. 2 of my favorite painters are both named Mike. That's funny, isn't it? But anyway, so we've got the raid created. We'll get out of here. Congrats everybody that won. Again, thanks guys for hanging out with me. This morning went fast. Anyways, all right. Have a great day. Yeah, he's painting. Maybe he's painting Henry Cavill, or maybe that's a Centaur. I don't know. Go check it out. Give him a follow. Mike's a wonderful guy. All right. Thank you so much, guys.